Hey, what's going on, guys? Back again with another stream, and today I want to get into something that I haven't seen covered very well in other videos, and that is having to do with programming beats, but specifically the amen break, which is the quintessential drum sound for jungle music, drum and bass. So I want to get into how do you actually use that sample and slice it up and program it and make it your own. So I'm going to get into that today. So first off, you might be wondering, what is the amen beat, the amen break, and it's this. So that is used all over the place. And basically I want to, like I said, talk about how to slice that up and program it and use it for your own and make interesting, complex sounding jungle glitchy beats. So you can download the loop online. It's downloadable on many websites. However, what I've gone ahead and done is I've uploaded this sample to my Google Drive. So if you look in the description link, or if you look in the description, there's a link for my Google Drive here where I have the original amen break, as well as all these individual slices already cut up for you. However, I'm going to walk you from the process from the start so that you can do everything yourself. And again, this is not something that's unique to Reason or any specific DAW. This is kind of how to do this in principle. I just happen to be doing this in Reason. And so you can apply this to using a hardware sampler, to using Fruity Loops, or pretty much anything else. So the way it works is you need to start with your loop. And this loop was originally in the area of 138 BPM. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to first set Reason to be 138, and then I'm going to import the file. So here you can see, here's my loop, and since I set it to 138 here, you can see it's right here pretty nicely on the bar on number 5. So I'm going to go ahead and just loop this real quick so you can hear the sample. It's already a pretty perfect loop. So what we want to do is we want to be able to slice up the individual hits so that we can import that into our sampler. And the way we can do that in Reason is if you double click on the file, it's automatically going to assign you all these hit points. Reason is going to automatically figure out where transients are and automatically assign these hit points for you. And so we could take our cutting tool and start cutting where these slices are now. But before I do that, what I would first do is quantize the audio so that you can get the best individual slices. And so I would set my quantization, so it's set to 1/16, which is, I think, good for this use case. And if I do a Control A, it'll highlight all the hit points, and then you can hit the quantize button, or you can hit Control K, and now you see everything has moved. If I undo it, you see the audio has kind of shifted, and if I quantize it again, everything just snaps into the grid. Right, so let's play that sample one more time to hear it now that the audio is quantized. Really not much of a difference, it's just really locked into the grid now. So what we want to do is begin chopping this up, and if you listen to the beginning, you got, so it's got that initial hit, that bam, that. And so we probably don't really want the first loop, we might want that sample, that hit that's right there at the beginning, but what we really want is just the drum sample. So if we go to this next bar right here, that's really the loop that we're trying to get. So what we can do again is double click on the audio, we've got our hit points. The audio is already quantized. We can take our cutting tool and we can start to cut at the hit points here. Cool. So you'll notice now each one of these, if I loop each one of these hit points, you have kick, another kick, and a hi-hat together, snare, hi-hat, soft snare, another hi-hat, another soft snare, another hard snare there at the end. So basically, then what you would want to do is take these samples, so we'll highlight them all, I'll right-click on it, and I will hit Bounce Clips to New Samples. Actually, before I hit that, I do want that initial hit, so I will take my cutting tool, and I'll cut that guy. Right there at the hit mark. So now we got that boom, and then we got the rest of our sample here. All right, so we'll highlight all the samples that we want to take with us. Right click, go down to bounce clips to new samples. Here they all are. All right, so we could take these files and start dragging them into our sampler, but what I like to do is I like to organize these files in my computer so that I can have these to use later on, and they're all named. They don't have these, you know, long original amen break 132 BPM 2 3 4 5 6. That's a horrible naming convention. So right click on these guys and we're going to export samples. And then from here, your directory is going to open up and you just tell, you tell the computer where you want to save these samples. I've already done this part. So if I go to the samples that I saved here, here's all of them. And basically, I went ahead and I listened to each one, deleted maybe some of the extra samples that I didn't need, and just labeled all the really good ones according to what they were. So we got a hard kick, got a medium kick, got a hi-hat, a soft hi-hat versus a medium. It's kind of a subtle difference between those two, but it's important to have both of those because you can kind of get this interplay going back and forth between them. A bunch of variations of the snare. I got soft, medium, hard, and very hard. And then also a crash, which is at the end here. If you play the whole sample. So got that crash, and then that opening hit. So again, I've already cut these up for you. You can feel free to just download this and import this into your sampler, but that's how you would do it if you want to do it from scratch. So I'm going to go ahead and delete these because that just deletes it within reason, not the files that I exported. And I don't need this guy anymore because I've already grabbed the data that I need from there. Okay, so we got the clips that we want. Now, how do we actually import this into a sampler and start writing our jungle beats here? So I'm going to go ahead and create a Kong. Again, you could use pretty much any sampler, but I think that the Kong is particularly fit here. I always like to color code my instruments. My drums are always red, so I'm going to make that guy red. And yeah, so right now there's already a kit that's loaded up here. So I'm going to right click on this guy and I'm going to go down to reset device. All right, so now everything is empty. The Kong drum is initialized. So now we can begin to import our samples. And I went ahead and I numbered them because I always end up dropping them in the same order. My kicks are always going to be the first thing, and then my hi-hats, and then my snare and my crash. Those things kind of go in a certain order. So I'm going to just drag them and drop them one by one. So we got the kick, second instance of a kick, hi-hat, snare. We got 4 snare versions here. And crash, And again, you could drag and drop these, in whatever pads you want. We're just going with my method here. So now we got our and so I'm using a MIDI keyboard. Well, actually, it's a Ultranova synthesizer, but it's connected to my computer with a USB cable, so it acts as a MIDI controller. So Cool. All right, so now we can begin to write our beats, and I'm going to show you a couple ways that we can approach this. Let's start with the pencil tool. And I know that's probably the less of the exciting ways to start, but it's important to kind of see these things on the grid, and then it'll make more sense if you want to play something with the keyboard and then go back and edit it. You kind of need to understand what you're looking at with the pencil view. So yeah, we're going to start there. All right, so right now the BPM is set to 138. I'm going to slow that down to 95 because these beats are so fast. I want to slow them down and kind of methodically think about how they work step by step and then build that. So again, let's play the original loop for a second. So if we think about how that rhythm works, it goes boom boom cat beta beta boom boom cat beta boom boom cat beta beta boom boom bat. So let's start to draw that out. And first, let's set a click track, and I'm just going to mouth it to the click track, make sure that my loop bars are set correctly. So we got 2. All right, that's the speed. So it'd be boom boom cat boom boom bat bat boom boom bat boom boom bat. Now you see, I don't actually need this second bar because it's really just this one. Boom boom bat bat boom boom bat bat. Just to start off with, let's make our bar as small as possible so that it's easy to see what we're looking at and it doesn't become overwhelming. All right, so I double-clicked on the track here to create this little colored bar here, and if I double-click on it again, now we're inside of our editor. All right, so down here at the bottom, we got our kick, and so we know it starts with the kick. So again, it's boom, boom, bat. Okay, so the snare, if you notice, was right here. So let's put our snare there. Yeah, so it'll be boom, boom, bat, boom, bat. So the other snare is there. Boom, bat. So it could be a double click, like a boom, boom, but actually it's a hi-hat. So in the middle of that, so it'd be like a boom, tat. Boom. All right, so that kick is there. So you see there's a teka between here. I know, highly technical verbiage here that I'm using. So it starts here. It's a hi-hat. Where's my hi-hat? Okay. So we're going to do the medium hi-hat. And what that sound is, that boom pat, it's a hi-hat and a snare, but it's not a hard snare. It's like this softer snare hit. It's this kind of shuffle between them. It's bata 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 boom pat. So hi-hat, soft snare, bata bata. I might have spaced these too close together. So because it doesn't look like that's going to fill out to where the kick is. So I think it's kind of double the space. So it's, yep. See, that was too fast. So it's bop, 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 like that. And there's another hit here at the end, and it's in my opinion, it's a hi-hat. So where is it? I think it's here on. There we go. All right, so now we have kind of the real basic outline of that beat. It's a boom, boom, cat, ta 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 ta, boom, cat. All right, so what if we took this beat and we raised it up to 175, which is jungle music area. Let's play it now. That's starting to sound like a jungle beat. All right, so that's one. I'm going to put that to the side. Let's do it again. And this time I'm going to do another really archetypal jungle beat. And so it's this kind of triad, not a triad, but it's like a kick, hi-hat, snare, kick, hi-hat, snare, kick, snare, kick, hi-hat, snare, kick, hi-hat, snare, kick, snare. So kick, hi-hat, snare. Oh, let's take it back down. Sorry. Back down to 95 and turn our click track on. So it's like this. All right, so the next kick is here. So next hi-hat. And then this will be where the next snare is. And then a kick. And then a snare. Or maybe that's a hi-hat. Let's see. Let's try hi-hat. Yeah, it's a hi-hat. So if I take this and now play it at 175, all right, and now what if I put these two together? So those are kind of like two very basic outlines of really popular amen jungle beats. So now it's just a matter of embellishing them. So for example, let's embellish this guy. All right, so we have the original. I'll duplicate it, and then on this one, I'm going to add some extra kicks, some extra snares. Those will kind of make it a little spicy. So I'm going to duplicate that kick, and I'm going to put it on the 2. So it has so you got a boom, boom, pat. Oops. Whoa. It ran away from me. All right, so what if we put in 4 snares right there? Maybe not every single time, but like if that's at the end of a fill. So for example, say you had 4 bars of, 3 bars of this, and then this is the 4th one. So you got. See? And one thing I like to do with Reason, and this is kind of fun to do with MIDI. So like, let's say instead of that, let's say we wanted to make that even more glitchy. I'm going to double it, highlight the whole thing, bring up my tools menu using F8, and then I'm under scale tempo, I'm going to hit double. And you see it just doubled all those notes. So now that's even more glitchy sounding. Let's make this. All right, instead of maybe just a brrr, what if we drew in a little velocity? So we'll highlight those notes, change to our pencil tool, and we can just draw like a crescendo, you know. So now it's got a, you know, it kind of crescendos up instead of just a straight glitch sound. Okay, so now we have, we've used the pencil tool to draw some archetypal jungle beats. How could we program it with the keyboard instead? So let's go back down to 95 because I cannot play drum and bass beats with my fingers at 175 BPM. Sorry, I'm just not that talented. Let's create a new bar and let's loop it with a click track. Okay, and so we need to imagine what it is that we're gonna play and then execute it. So one of the reasons why I have so many different versions of the snare, the soft snare, the medium to the very hard, is because these sounds, so let me find it here on the keyboard. So having that allows you to create these kind of interesting shuffles. You know. So let's listen to our click. So it's double the length of this. So it's all right, so we're going to play that. Yeah, so you can see on the so we're going to record something kind of like that. So oops. 6, 7, 8. Okay, and I can see the kick that's supposed to be on the downbeat. It's you see it's actually here at the end. So I'm just gonna fix that guy by just deleting it and drawing it back here. All right, so that was definitely a little sloppy. I didn't really play it locked into the grid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight everything with a Control A. I'll hit quantize because it's already set to 16th where I want it. I hit quantize, and looks like everything's snapped where it should be. Let's hear it. Okay, this part, I'm doing that with snare. We got the soft snare and medium snare. Let's do that with the hi-hat instead. So we'll do hi-hat and snare. So let's hear that. That sounds a little better to me. So now let's hear this guy at 175. Once my Mac wants to be nice. I don't really like that. Let's try with the soft snare. That's it. It's that soft snare and hi-hat that has that right shuffle sound. So also notice one thing, that these can all be kind of sections that you can rearrange. Like this shuffle here at the end, that can be one. Here, I'm gonna keep the original. I'm gonna duplicate it again. And again, what if we cut up? Oop, that didn't cut how I wanted it to. All right, back where we were. All right, so what if we cut? Why does it keep doing that? What am I doing wrong here? Yep, set to cut on the grid. I don't know why it's not doing what I want it to. So let's go back over here. Okay, I think that was some weird setting. Okay, anyway, same difference. So we'll cut this section. We'll cut this section. And let's see. Yep. So that one's not really usable, but this is. So what if you did like a, oops. I'm just trying things out here. I'm totally experimenting. Let's see. See, so like So anyway, so that's two different ways you can go about constructing your beats. And look, we can take all this and kind of put it together and they'll all work. Let's see. What do we got here to start with? So we got, let's say if we were starting with, all right, so we'll do, yep, so 3 of these, and this will be the 4th. That's all one group. go. So that's really it when it comes to kind of slicing and programming. And again, there's more that we could kind of go into with writing drum and bass beats. It's not all about the amen. There's other drum machines and patterns that we can utilize, but I haven't seen the amen covered very well as far as how to like take that, slice it up, and really make it your own. So I hope that is helpful to other drum and bass producers out there, people who just like dabbling around with those jungle beats and want to know how to make that sound. One last thing I'll say before I end the stream is this amen beat, of course, is so fun to run through, like distortions and things like that. Just crazy modulations. So like, for example, if I wanted to start shaping the sound, I might add like a scream distortion on it. And I'm going to set it to, I love this bit crusher under digital. So this digital here is basically like a bit crusher sound. And then these are your two parameter knobs for like the bit rate and the sample rate. And so if you twist these knobs around, you get some pretty cool digital sounds like this. Or other distortions, you know. So anyway, I hope that was helpful. If there was something that I can clarify more, by all means, leave a comment. Let me know, and I'm glad to give more information. And I really appreciate you guys joining the stream. Hope this was helpful, and I hope to see you around the next. Thanks.